and welcome to another episode of the Weekend Warriors Workshop. I'm Chris, and I'm your adventure guide in this series of videos where we handle all kinds of weekender projects, from building a saw table through working on bicycles. We try to do a cheat. No matter what, we try to have fun in the workshop. Today I'm going to continue on with bicycle maintenance. Last time we built a bicycle work stand. It was a cool stand. It was so cool that my best friend came by. He liked it. He took it back to Bakersfield with him. And I have confidence in that stand, confidence enough that I sent it to Bakersfield with my very best friend since the 3rd grade. And that was a long time ago. So, continuing on with bicycle maintenance, I want to do a general overview of the tools you need. Sort of like our very first Weekend Warriors Workshop episode where I did the basic workshop. Well, this is your basic bike shop. Now, the first tool I'm going to start with here is my reference manual. Believe it or not, the bike shop guides always have a reference manual behind the counter where they go to look and get refreshed on things that they haven't worked on for a while. If you're new, this thing's a lifesaver. So I'm starting with the Eugene A. Sloan's Complete Book of Bicycling. This is a great book, and here we go. This thing takes you through everything from the history of cycling through how to lace wheels. So it's a really good book. Two other good books would be the Bicycle Magazine Complete Guide to Bicycle Maintenance, or the Glenn's New Complete Bicycle Manual. Once again, two great books here. Take you through everything. The Glenn's, I learned how to rebuild 3-speed hubs and make them work afterward. So, you gotta like that. Now we'll look at tools. General overview of tools. You have the ones you take on a bicycle with you, the ones that you ought to have in the garage, and then the ones that are nice to have in the garage. Actually, one of these has to move over here because this is about a gotta have as you can get. So, what you need on a bicycle, you need a multi-tool that'll take care of the pieces that are on your bike, and depending on the length of ride that you're doing or the type of ride you're doing, will handle it. Such as on my road bike, I might not just need some Allen wrenches and maybe a Phillips and common screwdriver. I might go a little bit more in depth by having a little multi-tool like this one that has box end wrenches, all kinds of Allen wrenches, and a common screwdriver. You might want to take a chain breaker with you. This chain breaker happens to be lightweight aluminum, and it uses one of the Allen wrenches here to drive the pin in and out. So these two tools together work out great for me on the mountain or on the road bike. Of course, no matter what, I take a patch kit and I take a couple tire levers. Got to get the tires off the bike so I can work on the tubes. If I'm going on a hardcore mountain bike ride, I'll take a heavier duty tool like this one. This is the Topeak Alien. It's about 10 years old now, but it still works great. I mean, it's got box end wrenches, spoke wrenches, a chain breaker, Allen wrenches that go out to 8 millimeters, a knife, comes apart, it has tire levers on it. It's just a handy tool to have. I'll put it away later. Another tool I might carry is the Cool Tool. I know Gerber took these over, or Graber took these over. Chain breaker, crescent wrench. This crescent wrench happens to be shaved down, so it'll fit the cones of a bicycle. Allen wrenches, screwdriver, just once again, another real hefty tool to take with you. I'll take a spoke wrench with me because I know what I'm doing. I'm trying to find it. There we go. I'll take a spoke wrench with me, but I know what I'm doing with the spoke wrench, so it makes sense for me to carry one because I support everybody else on the ride. If you don't know what you're doing with a spoke wrench, don't take one. You can do more damage than good with it. Okay, of course you got to be able to get air into the tires or some sort of gas. Now this is a CO2 cartridge with a valve on it. Real quick inflation. As a matter of fact, it's called a superflate. But I don't depend on these because I can't carry more than 2 or 3 of them. So if I'm going to get a lot of flats, or I may get a lot of flats, it's always good to have a frame pump. This is from one of my mountain bikes. I've got a longer one for the road bike. Always good to have a frame pump with you, because what if you run out of cartridges? And that's it. So you get the idea. Carry a tool that's going to get you home so you don't have to call for help. You always want to be able to get back the way you came. Now for in the garage, there are all kinds of different tools, and it's going to depend on what kind of component group you have, the manufacturer, just the style they set up for, like how the lock rings go on, how the cups seat in. You know, there's just a myriad of tools that you could need. Since I had a bike shop for 10 years, I've got them all. But if I didn't, I would look at the bikes and just figure out what's the minimum. But there are some common things that you should have, such as for your hubs on the wheels, you need cone wrenches. Now cone wrenches are skinny. They come in sizes from 12 millimeter through 19 millimeter. And what they do is they fit these skinny little flat spots that are on the cone of an axle. And there's not a lot of room, so you need the skinny wrench to do it. It would help if I grabbed the right size. That one's too big, so this one's got to be it. There we go. You got to grab the right size. There's not a lot of room. You can't get a regular wrench on it, so you need a cone wrench. Skinny little things like this. On my bikes, 13 is usually the front, 15 is the back, and the lock nuts are usually about a 17 millimeter. Now, sometimes the lock nuts are designed the same way as the cone, where you only have 2 flat spots, and that's why I have a 17 millimeter cone wrench instead of just having an open end wrench that goes on the big flat lock nut there. Before I go any further, common garage tools, stuff that you're going to use on other things. Metric combination wrenches, ranging from 8 millimeter through 19 millimeter. Standard set of screwdrivers, Phillips and Common. Crescent wrenches, 12 inch through 12 inch, 8 inch, 10 inch. You know, those are usually the sizes that will cover all the ranges you could possibly need. Metric sockets. A metric socket set, cheap, easy to use, good thing to have in the garage for working on bikes. Let's go back to the bicycle specific tools. Since I'm working at wheels, let me go on. The gear clusters are either going to be a cassette with a free hub. The free hub stays on the wheel, cassette slides over, or a free wheel where the whole system, the ratcheting guts and the cogs all unscrew off the hub. You've got to have a tool to take those off. Now in some cases, 2 of these are chain whips. 2 of these will take care of the job. You just hook the gears on one side, then you hook the outer cog with the other one, and it comes right off. However, more often than not, you'll find that you need a lock ring removal tool or a freewheel removal tool. Now this one happens to be a Shimano. It's the kind for my bikes. This is a lock ring on here. Nice silver guy there. Okay, and you see that the chain whip holds onto the gears. The lock ring tool fits right in there. And I use my big crescent wrench, and off it comes. Now I'm not going to take it all the way off because this actually isn't one of my wheels. This is a wheel I'm working on for somebody else. It's going to do a triathlon, and I don't want to break it any worse than it came in. Yeah, I've retired from the bike business, but I still work on friends' bikes. If you got a BMX bike that you're working on and you got to get the freewheel off of it, if it pedals backwards, it's a freewheel. If it stops when you pedal backwards, that's a coaster brake. That's something completely different. But BMX freewheel tool looks like this guy, 4 big prongs on it. You stick it in, put a wrench on it, twist it off, or stick it in the vise, turn the wheel, comes right off. So those are the things for wheels. Now bottom brackets. There's all kinds of different kinds of bottom brackets, crank arm sets. This is the old type 3-piece bottom bracket. It has 2 cups and a spindle. This side goes down flush against the frame. This side screws down in the frame and then has a lock ring so it can't back out as you pedal. To take care of this type, you'll see this one has pinholes in the cup and then it has a lock ring on the outside. To take care of this type, you would need a pin spanner of some sort. Okay, this one happens to be a fixed pin spanner. It has 2 pins in it. Fits across into the holes in the cup. And it's kind of worn, so there we go. This happens to be a spring pin spanner. You see how it adjusts. It'll fit in there. Or we can go with a fully adjustable pin spanner like this. There we go, and it fits in the cup. Now the ring on the outside has about 6 keys in it, so what you would need is a hook spanner to fit in the keys. Now this is single hook on either side, small one, big one. This would be for headsets. This is a full hook spanner that will fit into 3 of the spaces at the same time. And here's an adjustable hook spanner. It can do both headsets and bottom brackets. I don't like this one very much. But the idea of this is on the other side is the wrench for the fixed cup. And this is the too big or too small for this fixed cup, but you get the idea. 2 flat spots, 2 flat spots, there you go. So, bottom bracket wrench, hook spanner, single hook spanner, 2 end, but only 1 hook on either end, single hook spanner, pin wrench, pin spanner. You only need the ones, you only need to get the ones that work on your bikes. You don't need to buy a whole bunch of different ones. There's just a lot of options. Now, not all bottom brackets are these 3-piece type. Matter of fact, I haven't seen too many of these, I don't know, since the mid-90s. Because in the mid-90s they started going to sealed cartridge bottom brackets.